What up, guys? GangstaPranksta here, bringing you the weekly wrestling review for November 19th. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, it's where we talk about everything pro wrestling, news, reviews, predictions. We talk about it all. So if you like to talk about pro wrestling, you came to the right place. Welcome to the show. Today we got reviews for TNA Turning Point, which was last week, RAW, Smackdown, TNA, Ring of Honor, and predictions for Survivor Series with a little bit of news. And this is the last episode of Weekly Wrestling Review that you'll be seeing Smackdown vs. Raw 2011 footage for the background, for the gameplay in the background. To start next week, we're going to have some WWE 12 for you guys. We're going to talk about WWE 12 later. Just like some ideas I want to bounce off you guys. You guys can give me some ideas, and we'll just go back and forth. But first, let's start off with reviews. First, we got TNA Turning Point. It was an okay show. Let's just go through it real quick. It started out with Eric Young versus Robbie E for the TNA TV title. It was a pretty good match. Robbie wins and is the new TV champion. The end was kind of weak. You had Rob Terry grab Eric Young's foot, and he fell, and that's how. And then Robbie E pinned him, and that was it. I didn't really like that. I thought Robbie should have hit his finisher, low blow, hit him with the title, whatever, but just anything but what they did. Anyways, next we got Inc. and Toxin versus Mexican America and Sarita for the TNA Tag Team titles. Pretty good match. Mexican America retains. And we're going to talk more about the tag team titles later. Actually, we'll talk about that later, whatever. And, yeah. Next, Austin Aries versus Jesse Sorensen versus Kid Cash, 3-way for the TNA X Division title. Good match. Austin Aries wins and retains. Next is RVD against Christopher Daniels, no DQ match. Good match. RVD wins. Next is Crimson versus Matt Morgan. Pretty good match. No one wins, though. Near the end of the match, they started to have a punching contest. They started who can take a punch, who could throw a better punch kind of thing. And they just started brawling, and then they pushed the referee down, and then the ref DQ'd him. And then they started, after the match, they kept hitting each other, but the punches were just so garbage. They weren't giving it their all on these punches. Crimson was hitting Matt Morgan's shoulder, and he's barely throwing punches. It looked really bad, to be honest. It's go hard or go home, you know. It sucked. It sucked. The punches they were throwing. Next, we got Mr. Anderson and Abyss versus Bully Ray and Scott Steiner. I thought this was a good match. Abyss and Anderson win. The ending was kind of dumb, though. So, in a tag team match, one team's on one side of the corner and the other team's on the other side, and you can only make tags in your corner. Well, the ending, Abyss was brawling with Bully Ray, I think, and Scott Steiner was going to do the Frankensteiner on Mr. Anderson in his corner, in his tag team corner, and Abyss, he walked all the way outside into Steiner and Bully Ray's corner, tagged in Anderson. I don't know how that works. I'm a big tag team fan. That blew my mind. It's just that's never been done because it's against the rules and it's dumb. If you can tag your partner in any corner, that'd be crazy madness. Anyways, he tagged himself in Steiner and Bully Ray's corner, and he pinned Steiner. This might have not bothered people, just whatever, you're making a big deal about it. To me, as a tag team fan, it irked me because, it's been instilled in my brain that he can only make tags in his corner, not any fucking corner he wants. So, I don't know, it bothered me. And after the match, Bully Ray and Steiner attack Abyss and put him through a table, and Abyss got up right away and scared away Bully Ray and Scott Steiner. Next, we got Gail Kim versus Velvet Sky Knockouts title match. Pretty good match. Gail wins and is the new women's champ. Now she's the Knockouts champ and the tag team Knockouts champ. I think Velvet should have won, and we'll talk more about this later because TNA is already deviating away from the feud between Velvet and Gail. We'll talk about that later, though. Next we got Jeff Hardy versus Jeff Jarrett. This was pretty good. When I heard about this, people shit on it. So basically, they had 3 matches. The first match, Hardy came in. It lasted 5 seconds. Hardy ran into the ring. Twist of fate. 1, 2, 3. Over. And Jared's like, yo, fuck that. I wasn't prepared. Whatever. I want a rematch. They had a second match. It was like a match. 5-6 minutes. They wrestled, and then Hardy won again. And then after that match, Jeff Jarrett attacked Hardy and then threw him in the ring. And he tried to pin him and told the ref to count. And Hardy countered that pin and pinned him again. So he got 3 wins in in one night, which is impressive. So Jarrett just looked like a bitch, basically losing 3 times. It was okay. People made it seem a lot worse than it was. It was just okay. Last but not least, AJ Styles versus Robert Roode, TNA World Title match. Really good match. They gave these guys like 20 minutes. And next month, they're going to have a 30-minute Iron Man match. That's going to be fucking awesome. These guys had a kick-ass match here. I can't wait to see what they do in the Iron Man match. Robert Roode wins and he retains. Next, we got Raw. And Turning Point, it was just okay. I don't recommend it. Next, we got Raw. It was a 3-hour show. Rock appeared and stuff like that. At first, it starts out with Michael Cole. He comes out and calls out Jim Ross. JR comes out and Cole says if JR can win all 3 challenges in the Michael Cole thing, he can get his job back. And Cole will quit. First challenge is arm wrestling. JR wins. Second challenge is a dance-off. JR wins again. And the third challenge is a who weighs less. Cole wins and brags about winning and stuff. CM Punk comes out and he pretty much disses the shit out of Michael Cole, saying this is a waste of time. I couldn't agree more. This was pretty bad. The whole JR Michael Cole thing, like, what a horrible way to start this show. Maybe in the middle of the show, but not to fucking start the show. Oh my god, I was like, really? You're going to start your 3-hour show that you've been hyping up for a couple weeks now with this piece of shit? Blew my mind. Anyways, so, CM Punk came out, dissed Michael Cole. John Laurinaitis comes out and says Punk will team up with the Big Show to face Del Rio and Mark Henry tonight. Michael Cole says he wants an apology from Punk. Punk gives him a headbutt and puts him in the Anaconda Vice. So the whole thing was really bad until Punk came out and he saved it and, dissed Michael Cole and all that stuff. Next, we got Kofi Kingston and Sin Cara versus Cody Rhodes and Hunico. Pretty good match. Cody and Hunico win. Vicky Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler come out and say that because Christian's injured, Dolph's going to take his place. Dolph has a match with Mason Ryan tonight, so it's Mason Ryan against Dolph Ziggler. Okay match. Mason wins by DQ because Vicky slapped him, and the referee just DQ'd Dolph. Next, we got Mick Foley. Makes his return to WWE TV, and he calls out John Cena, and John Cena comes out and they talk a little bit, and Foley says we're gonna do This Is Your Life segment. If you don't remember, did this with The Rock maybe 13 years ago, about that. It was a pretty long time. And they did it. They brought out Cena's Little League coach, Bull Buchanan. Holy shit, man, good to see that guy. I remember him from the Right to Censor, and it was good to see him. And John Cena's dad came out, and then Foley was going to bring out somebody else, but The Rock just came in, rock bottomed him, and then he left. That was pretty funny. This whole segment, though, is just meh. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Next, we got Sheamus versus Jack Swagger. Pretty good match. Sheamus wins. Kelly versus Natalia. Blah match. Kelly wins. And then we got CM Punk and Big Show versus Del Rio and Mark Henry. Good match. Henry and Del Rio win. Next, Santino Marella comes out and says he almost won the Royal Rumble in this arena, blah, blah, blah. Kevin Nash comes out and says he's a big fan of Santino, and then he attacks him. Next, we got Wade Barrett against Randy Orton. Pretty good match. Orton wins by DQ after Cody Rhodes attacks him. After the match, there's a huge brawl involving Orton's Survivor Series team and Barrett's Survivor Series team. And last but not least, we have finally The Rock has come back to WWE. You know, The Rock comes back, he does his usual thing, like finally, blah blah blah. And this whole Raw, one complaint, besides the Michael Cole and JR thing, which was pretty bad, they could not stop talking about Twitter. Holy fucking shit. Just have the whole show on Twitter. Just tweet out what you're going to do next. Oh my god, it was so bad. How many times they talked about Twitter. Just please stop. Please stop it. Stop. It was so bad. Anyways, The Rock comes out. He talks about Cena. He talks about McFoley. He says he wants to kick Miz and R-Truth's ass right now. Miz and R-Truth come out and say nothing's going to happen tonight. John Cena comes out and says, excuse his partner. He's part of Team Bring It, but for the last 7 years, all he's brought in is shitty satellite promos. I laughed at that. I thought that was pretty funny because it's true. You know, they took it, and then you know, he took a shot at The Rock, and The Rock has to retaliate. And The Rock says, excuse my partner, he's never had the support of someone who's hit puberty. I fucking laughed at that because that's kind of funny. Anyways, Miz interrupts them and says they're not stealing the spotlight from him and R-Truth, and they will see him on Sunday. Cena's like, or Rock's like, why wait till Sunday, and blah blah blah, and they take out Miz and R-Truth. I liked Raw. I liked the end. You know, whenever Rock's there, it's going to be a fun show and entertaining to watch. So, yeah, I can't wait for Survivor Series, and I'll be giving my predictions for that later. But first, we got TNA Impact. It starts out with Robert Roode. He comes out and talks about how he was the star of Fortune. James Storm comes out and says he wants to fight Roode, but security stops him. And Roode says he didn't beat up Storm last week. Storm agrees with. He didn't agree with him, but he just took his word. So you're gonna believe what the man who screwed you for your title? You're gonna believe what he says? I thought that was kind of dumb. So yeah, security escorts Storm out. AJ Styles comes from behind. He brawls with Roode a little bit. Security separates them. AJ and Roode talk shit to each other a little bit, and then Sting comes out and says AJ and Roode will have a match at Final Resolution, 30-minute Iron Man match. After Sting leaves, Roode gets in Dixie Carter's face. AJ saves Dixie, then Roode knocks down AJ, who's holding Dixie, and starts beating up AJ, who's on top of Dixie. It was pretty ridiculous. It was they tried to make it serious. I couldn't stop laughing. Anyways, next we got Robbie E versus Diva. Oh god. So I almost lost my voice there. We got Robbie E versus Devon, TNA TV title match. Okay match, Robbie wins. Next we got Jesse Sorensen and Brian Kendrick versus Austin Aries and Kid Cash. Pretty good match. Jesse and Kendrick win. Next we got a 10 women's gauntlet match. And the women are Rosita, Velvet Sky, Brooke Tessmacher, Angelina Love, Mickie James, Sarita, Tara Winner, ODB, and Madison Rayne. Good match. Mickie James wins and is the new #1 contender for the Knockouts title. I think Velvet, I don't know why they're already going away from the Velvet Gale feud. I mean, they've only feuded for like a couple weeks, and you're already gonna stop it and have Mickie James take her place. It's like, come on, let Velvet and Gale like have another match at Final Resolution, and then move on. You know, they're already going away from the feud, and it's only like they had such a short feud. You know, Velvet never got her comeback. Gale just beat her ass, and next, you know, I didn't like that. Anyways, next we got Jeff Hardy comes out and says he's done with Jeff Jarrett and it's time to go after the world title. Karen Jarrett comes out and says he talks a bunch of shit and says he's not a man and stuff. Jeff Jarrett tries to attack Hardy from behind, but Hardy takes out Jarrett. Next we got Mexican America versus Crimson and Matt Morgan for the TNA Tag Team titles. Pretty good match. Crimson and Morgan win and are the new Tag Team champs. I called this. I called this when they started feuding. I'm like, they're just going to end up tag teaming, and they're probably going to be tag team champs. I called it. Go back to a couple weekly wrestling reviews ago, and I fucking called it. Yeah, so my question. I want to talk about the whole Ink Inc. situation. Did Ink Inc. get Bobby rooted? And what I mean by that is, Ink Inc. in Mexican America were having a feud, just like Angle and Bobby Roode were, and it made it seem like Ink Inc. were going to win the tag team titles, and they don't win. And then they lose it to another person. Mexican America loses it to Crimson and Matt Morgan. Same thing would happen to Kurt Angle, Bobby Roode. Kurt Angle beat Bobby Roode at Bound for Glory, and then Storm won it the next week. It's like this Ink Inc. just got Bobby rooted. And it was dumb. I don't know why you wouldn't give the tag team titles to Ink Inc. Fucking blew my mind. Crimson and Matt Morgan are tag champs, whatever. Next we got Gunner versus Garrett Bischoff. This is whatever. Garrett wins. And last but not least, James Storm comes out and wants to know who jumped him from behind. Storm calls out AJ Styles. Styles comes out and he thinks AJ did it, but he didn't because he's trying to defend Storm, whatever. Kazarian comes out and tries to calm down everybody. AJ and Kazarian leave, and Kurt Angle attacks Storm from behind and says he's the one that attacked James Storm. So that was okay. I don't know why Ink Inc. didn't win the tag team titles, but we're going to talk about Ink Inc. more later in news because, yeah. Anyways, next we got SmackDown. It starts out with Mark Henry. He attacks Daniel Bryan backstage, and then he brings him to the ring and beats him up some more. And he says he's going to be Big Show at Survivor Series. Whatever. First match, Sin Cara versus Dolph Ziggler. Pretty good match. Ziggler wins. After the match, Sin Cara attacks Ziggler. Jack Swagger makes a save. Swagger and Ziggler beat up Sin Cara until Mason Ryan makes a save. That starts a match between Mason Ryan and Jack Swagger. Pretty good match. Mason wins. Christian comes out and talks about his injuries and stuff, and he says he will not be wrestling at Survivor Series. And the fans are like, yeah, he's injured, whatever. And then Christian just like shits on the fans. Christian being awesome. Thank God he's still gonna appear on TV even though he's injured. Thank God for that. I love Christian. Next, we got Ted DiBiase versus Derek Bateman. Pretty good match. DiBiase wins. Big Show comes out and talks about how he's going to beat up Mark Henry at Survivor Series. Next, we got Kofi Kingston versus Hunico. Pretty good match. Kofi wins. Beth and Natalya versus AJ and Caitlyn. Pretty good match. Beth and Natalya wins. So Natalya had AJ in a fucking sharpshooter, and regular sharpshooter, and she went all the way back, and fucking AJ looked like she was just gonna break in half. It was fucking crazy. Last but not least, you got Randy Orton and Sheamus versus Cody Rhodes and Wade Barrett. Good match. Orton and Sheamus win by DQ. After Christian attacks Sheamus with a crutch. After the match, Cody and Barrett beat down Sheamus, but Sheamus fights back, and with Orton's help, takes out Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes. So that was SmackDown. Next, we got Ring of Honor TV. It starts out with the Bravado Brothers versus the Young Bucks. Pretty good match. Young Bucks win. Next, we got Kevin Kelly. He brings out the world's greatest tag team for an interview. They come out and they talk about the Briscoes and stuff and how they want to beat them. All Night Express comes out and pretty much say they want respect and they're being overlooked. Next, they show a history of Kevin Steen and how he became the way he was. And they show the feud between Kevin Steen and El Generico and Steve Corino. And that feud's awesome. It was a good feud. And this whole angle's awesome. Props to Ring of Honor doing something good in wrestling. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's cool. They have a whole good thing going on with Kevin Steen. Keep it up. It's very entertaining. And next we got Steve Corino comes out and says he wants to answer the Kevin Steen problem and wants to talk to Jim Cornette. And last but not least, the House of Truth, Roderick Strong and Mike Elgin versus the American Wolves, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards. This was a really good match, kick-ass match. They beat the shit out of each other. I definitely recommend this match. It was a really good match. The American Wolves win, and if you don't know how to watch Ring of Honor, go to their website, rohwrestling.com, make an account for free, and you can watch the show every Thursday they upload it. I definitely recommend watching Ring of Honor TV. It's 1 hour, 50 minutes, and a lot of wrestling, and it's all entertaining, and it's good. I enjoy it. I enjoy watching Ring of Honor. Next, we got my predictions for Survivor Series. Survivor Series is this Sunday, and it has a pretty good card. I'm not gonna lie. It has potential to be a really good pay-per-view. So first, we got John Morrison versus Dolph Ziggler for the U.S. title. You know, I talked about how John Morrison might be leaving WWE next week. Or last week, I talked about how he might be leaving at the end of November. I think they're going to, take John Morrison out and put in Zack Ryder or put in Mason Ryan. Because, to be honest, Dolph Ziggler is, feuding with Mason Ryan. He's feuding with Zack Ryder. He's feuding with John Morrison. You know, just pick one person for him to feud with. Maybe Zack Ryder. You know, they're going to be in Madison Square Garden, New York. New York's beside Long Island. So maybe, I think it's going to be Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler. They're going to take out John Morrison. But if it is John Morrison, Dolph Ziggler, I'm going to have to go with Dolph Ziggler. Because I don't think John Morrison's going to win, especially if he's going to leave the company. Dolph Ziggler to retain. Next, we got Beth Phoenix versus Eve, Divas title, Lumberjill match. These two had a good match last pay-per-view, and I expect them to tear the house down again. Next, we got Team Randy Orton, consisting of Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, Sin Cara, Mason Ryan, and Sheamus, against Team Wade Barrett, which is Wade Barrett, Hunico, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger. Dolph Ziggler pulling double duty again. Second pay-per-view in a row. He has 2 matches. Last time he had a match for the tag titles and defended his U.S. title, and now he's defending his U.S. title, and he's part of Team Wade Barrett. So, you know, props to Dolph Ziggler. I think he's entertaining to watch. He's a great wrestler. So, this could be a good match. I'm gonna go with Team Orton, and I think it's gonna be Sheamus. Sheamus is gonna get the win. They've been pushing him hard, so I expect him to take out either Wade Barrett. I expect him and Randy Orton to be the last two, and they're gonna win it for their team. Next we got Big Show versus Mark Henry world title match. I think Mark Henry's gonna win. But I don't think he's going to leave world champion because I think Daniel Bryan is going to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase against Mark Henry. I know he said he was going to do it at WrestleMania, but over the past few weeks, you know, Daniel Bryan and Mark Henry, they've been having matches and kind of feuding together. So I think it would only make sense if Daniel Bryan cashed in his briefcase after the match and beat Mark Henry. I see that's how it's going to go. So I'm going to go with Mark Henry winning, and then Daniel Bryan's going to cash in his Money in the Bank. Alright, next we have CM Punk versus Alberto Del Rio for the WWE title. To be honest, I'm going to go with Del Rio. I like CM Punk, I really do, but I don't think he's going to win the title. To be honest, I don't know what they're going to do after this. Are they going to keep feuding with each other, or if Punk wins, is he going to have another match with Del Rio? If Del Rio wins, who's he going to feud with? So I don't really know what's going to happen. Maybe they'll throw John Cena back in the WWE title picture after he's done with the thing with The Rock and Miz and R-Truth. So we'll have to see. I'm going to go with Del Rio, though. Del Rio to retain. And last but not least, the main event of Survivor Series, John Cena teaming up with The Rock to take on Miz and R-Truth. This should be a good match. You know, they're in Madison Square Garden. It's going to be... The Rock's going to get a huge ovation from the crowd. And that should just set the mood for the match. I'm definitely going to go with Cena and Rock. There's no way Rock's going to lose in Madison Square Garden. You know, no fucking way. But I think it's going to go 2 ways. So The Rock is not going to appear on WWE TV until WrestleMania time. That's it's November, about 4 or 5 months. So I think we're going to have John Cena. Actually, I'm going to go with The Rock. After him and Cena win, he's going to rock bottom Cena. Or you're gonna have Cena FU The Rock and just get a bunch of boos, and that'd be entertaining if he becomes a heel. Oh, that'd be fucking cool. Okay, so what if Punk wins the WWE title, Cena turns heel on The Rock in Madison Square Garden, and then Punk and Cena have a match at the next pay-per-view? That'd be pretty awesome. Man, I'd love to see that happen. I'd love to see that happen. Make it happen, WWE. I know you don't listen to the show, so make it happen. That made no sense. Anyways, this has potential to be a really good show. Definitely looking forward to it, and I'll bring you my review next week. So next we got a couple news bits. Some, it's mainly bad, to be honest. Jesse Neal will be leaving TNA very shortly. TNA recently acquired Ohio Valley Wrestling for a developmental system where they can, send people who aren't on TV a lot to go and just wrestle and stay fresh, pretty much. And Jesse Neal was supposed to go down there, but he doesn't want to go. So at least what I've read from articles, it made it seem like he'll be leaving TNA soon, which kind of makes sense for him not winning the tag team titles. So yeah, but it's gonna suck. I like Inc. I don't know what's gonna happen now with Toxin. I mean, she was brought in to be part of Inc. And she's Jesse Neal's fiance. So I think she's gonna be fired next if Jesse leaves. So that sucks. Sucks that Jesse's leaving. I thought he's a pretty talented dude. I didn't like him when he first debuted in TNA, and he's definitely changed a lot. So it's good to see. It's good to see him evolve into a nobody, from a sailor who sang the national anthem on a pay-per-view to a guy who's pretty good in the ring now. So keep it up. And I don't know. Will he go to WWE? I doubt it. But stranger things have happened. Next we got Matt Hardy was kicked from rehab after failing a breathalyzer. Now he's in jail with a bond of $1 million. That sucks to hear, because he finally seemed like it was getting his life on track, and now this is like another bump in the road, and this just might lead downhill the momentum he had. He said he failed the breathalyzer because he took mouthwash. That's possible, but it's also possible that he went back to his old ways, which would suck a lot. I don't know. Hopefully Jeff can have his back, kind of mentor his brother or whatever, because Jeff had his demons, and hopefully he can help his brother. If Matt has gone to his old ways, or if he did the whole mouthwash thing, then it might just be a huge misunderstanding. Hopefully it is, but I'm gonna say that he's going back to his old ways. So that sucks. Hopefully Matt can pick up the pieces to his life, because it sucks to hear about this stuff. It really does. But on to a lighter note, next week WWE 12 drops. I'm super excited. Huge roster, lots of things. 40-man Royal Rumbles. I'm pretty excited about that. So I just want to talk about it with you guys. What would you like to see from me? Someone suggested last week I should do a series doing classic matches. I'm going to have to say no, because I know someone who's doing it, and I kind of don't want to step on their feet. So I'm going to stay away from that. But thank you for the suggestion. Just what kind of stuff do you guys want to see? And one thing. I record matches for the Weekly Wrestling Review and stuff like that. And you're not going to see a lot of TNA stuff, because I don't make the cause. I just download them and I put them in matches and whatever. So I'm going to wait a couple weeks, give time for people to make awesome cause, and then I'll download them. But for the most part, we're going to be strictly seeing WWE guys for the Weekly Wrestling Review matches. Hopefully you guys don't mind about that. That's whatever. I just thought I'd mention that. But what kind of stuff do you guys want to see for WWE 12? Do you want me to do a little Let's Play of the Road to WrestleMania thing? I don't know. Just give me a bunch of ideas. List them in the comments. I'll be responding to people that have good ideas. And yeah, hopefully I want to start posting content like the Tuesday or Wednesday, because the game comes out on Tuesday. So I'm going to try and get out content the day of, or I'm going to try and get content out the day after. I'm going to try and do the day of. So list things in the comments, like stuff you'd like to see me post. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to rate it, like, dislike, leave comments, stuff about WWE 12. And I want to thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week, where we have reviews of not Turning Point, Survivor Series, Raw, SmackDown, Impact, Ring of Honor, and some WWE 12. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Peace out. See you guys next week.